From the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, this is Frogs Today. More rankings piling up for our spring teams, leading off with our #1 beach volleyball team in California, our #2 men's tennis team competing for the outright Big 12 Championship this Sunday, our #4 ranked equestrian team at nationals at the World Equestrian Complex in Florida. Rounding out in the top 10, our women's outdoor track and field team, followed by #15 ranked women's golf, heading to the Big 12 Championships next week. Baseball is back in the top 25 at #24, along with men's track and field. Welcome to another episode of Frogs Today. This is Season 6, and thanks for joining us from the Roxo Media House studios. I'm your host, Keegan Cunningham with TCU Football.
And with Eric McAllister with you with TCU Football as well. We are 10 days into our spring practices with 5 to go, and later in the show we will hear how they will have been going from our head coach, Sonny Dice, as well as our coordinators, Coach Briles and Coach Avalos.
Let's get the action started today with the baseball student tailgate at 4 p.m. in the Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium parking lot before Frogball USA kicks off their series against Kansas at 6 p.m. at Lupton.
Then Saturday, join the Frog Crawl, starting with our practice at 11 a.m. in the Carter. Get some lunch at noon, and then head to Game 2 of the baseball Big 12 series against Kansas at 2. And get your 4-6-3 double play deal. $4 tickets, $6 beers, and $3 hot dogs or nachos. Triathlon, who finished 4th at Nationals in the fall, is also in action on Saturday at the Fort Worth Collegiate Cup.
Sunday, the fun continues as TCU men's tennis wraps up the regular season hosting the Baylor Bears at 1 p.m. And with a win, David Rodidi's team clinches the outright regular season Big 12 crown. Baseball Game 3 is also in action at 1 p.m., so go back and forth as both teams will not disappoint.
We got all that plus men's golf heading to West Virginia, men's and women's basketball making dynamic moves in the transfer portal. Women's diver Anna Kwong competes in the Mexico for USA Diving, and we have spring soccer and volleyball spring news. We will be back to kick everything off after a word from our sponsor, Richard Rainwater.
The best tasting water comes straight from the sky, leaving just pure, refreshing raindrops in every bottle. Taste the difference. Sip the sky.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater. Sip the sky.
We are back in the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, and I'm your host, Keegan Cunningham. At 19-3 and 17 straight wins, our #1 ranked beach volleyball team just went 4-0 last weekend at the Wildcat Spring Challenge against Pepperdine, Utah, Arizona, and #12 Arizona State. Doesn't get any easier this weekend in the Center of Effort Challenge in Southern California, where they get Arizona State again, #4 LMU, and a rematch of #2 UCLA, who they beat earlier in the year to take over the #1 spot. Play starts today at 1:15 and continues through tomorrow. Big 12 Pair of the Week, Alanis Navas and Sofia Izuskiza are 14-0 on the season so far, with Navas winning her 100th match last week. Lena Camille notched her 75th career win as well, and a special milestone achievement goes to head coach Hector Gutierrez, who won his 207th match. We'll have a chance to talk to him on next week's show when they return home as they prepare to host the Fight in the Fort next weekend. Good luck, ladies. As we mentioned at the top of the show, baseball continues Big 12 play, hosting #22 Kansas, who are on top of the Big 12 currently. Tailgate is at 4 p.m., and the first pitch is at 6 p.m. Here is head coach Kirk Sarlos on the matchup with Kansas.
Yeah, they're top of the standings, top of the table for you football fans. But no, they've done a really good job. Dan Fitzgerald, who was the assistant coach at DBU and LSU and now is the head coach there, he's done a great job in terms of his recruiting of getting older players, junior college players, transfer portal players. They're fourth, I think. Don't quote me on that, but fourth or fifth in the country in home runs. I think they have 61. So a ton of balls going over the fence for them. So that's a lot of their offense. And they have probably the preseason pitcher of the year. With Ben going down, I'm not sure if he was considered the preseason or not, but their Friday night guy is the best starting pitcher in our league in terms of what the other coaches think. So hands are going to be full, and got to really pitch it well.
The Frogs are tied for third in the Big 12 at 8-4. Just got back into the rankings at number 24 by Baseball America and have a great opportunity this weekend taking on Kansas, who is top of the standings. What does the approach look like as this team continues to gain ground in the league and across the nation?
Whoever comes and plays the best on Friday night is going to win. It's the one sport where you got 9 innings and it's 3-hour game, and it comes down to the team that plays the best is the team that's going to win. And there's no fluke. It really comes down to that. And so we just got to be able to play our best when we strap it on Friday again.
Sarlos likes the way his team is playing, going 8-1 in the midweek games and winning 3 of the last conference series at 25-9 overall with 20 games remaining. He's getting consistent performances from his underclassmen and clutch performances from his veterans.
Yeah, a great point. I can't believe we're more than halfway through the season. It seems like yesterday we were in San Diego, and now we're 34 games in, so it goes super fast. I think there's been some really great performances by the young guys, and and then the old guys. Carson Bowen is kind of back to himself and swinging the bat really well, and some other older guys doing a good job. But I think just you never know who's going to be the guy, from game to game, and the length in the lineup is really good, and just like a little bit more consistency in terms of our starting pitching, but it'll be a really good test this weekend.
Freshman Sawyer Strassnyder is batting .451 with 6 of 8 of his home runs in the Big 12. Sophomore Chase Brunson is hitting .460 in the league, and veteran catcher Carson Bowen is back to form, and he just figures out a way to get on base. And let's not forget freshman Noah Franco, who has a Big 12 batting average of .417.
We saw that in the recruiting process. Obviously Coach DeLara and Coach Mo and Coach Lon doing an awesome job in terms of we knew what we were getting with those guys, and then it becomes a matter of how quickly are they going to settle in and understand that it's the same game that they've been playing, just maybe a little bit more people in the stands, maybe a little bit more velocity. But as soon as they figure that out and are able to get back to feeling comfortable about being the best player on the field, it'll take care of itself. So that part of it is awesome. And you think of our 2023 run at the end of the season, it was mostly on the backs of Bowen, Silva, Klecker, Abelt. And it was freshmen that just kept getting better as the season went on. So we'd love for that to happen again, obviously. But ultimately it's about, making sure that we do a good job in the next couple of days, take care of what we need to take care of.
It's been fun to watch this team play this year. And remember, Frog fans, there are some tailgates to attend to today and tomorrow. Player, coach, or actor? What are we thinking?
Oh gosh, well hopefully I'm a better coach because I'm not a very good actor, but the shotgun. I think that was a stevia. Was that what that drink's called? So it wasn't a long drink. It wasn't a Coors Light. It was a stevia. So all you students, bring your cold drinks. I'll just say that.
Is this what the students do?
Yeah, coach, but a different kind of drink.
All right, we got a student tailgate this Friday. 25 free passes out in the left field parking lot. Bring your friends, bring your drinks, pack the stadium. Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs. Be there Friday.
You heard the man. Be there today. Your men's and women's basketball teams have been busy putting together their rosters for next year, and head women's coach Mark Campbell has done it again, signing the top player in the portal from Notre Dame, All-American point guard Olivia Miles, who averaged 14.2 points, 6.5 assists, and 6 rebounds last year. Campbell says there's not a better point guard in the country. Texas A&M guard Talia Parker at 6'1" will also be joining the Frogs next season, averaging 5.4 points and 2.4 rebounds as a freshman last year, playing her high school ball right down the street at South Grand Prairie. Jamie Dixon added 2 experienced players to his backcourt for next year. Iowa transfer Brock Harding and Providence transfer Jaden Pierre. Harding averaged 8.8 points last year in the Big 10 and Pierre at 12.3 points per game and a team-best 3.2 assists. More news on the basketball front as Coach Campbell and Dixon solidify their rosters coming soon. Before we head to break, TCU women's diver Anna Kwong competed at the 2025 Agua Diving World Cup for USA Diving last week in Guadalajara, finishing 7th overall in the 3-meter synchro final. More to come on her international career. Eric has men's tennis, women's golf, and track and field when we return.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
We are back here at the Roxo Media House Studios, and I'm Eric McAllister. Number 2 ranked men's tennis at 19-2 and 7-0 in conference currently holds a share of the Big 12 regular season and looks to win the title outright on Sunday. They host Baylor in the final regular season match of the season. On Wednesday, the Frogs defeated SMU for the 16th time with a sweep on the purple courts. In case you missed our Frog Huddle style of interview when we had sophomore Duncan Chan after the win over Oklahoma State last week, we have another one with senior Louis Maxted this week after a straight set win to get off the court first against the Mustangs on Wednesday.
My match was great. I mean, got off on a break first game. I don't know, kind of playing my game, being aggressive, like Coach B's told me to. And yeah, I don't know. I just played really well and just kept my foot on the gas, and I kind of just ran away with the match, to be honest.
Wow, running so fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's always nice beating SMU. Obviously has a long history, big rivalry, but I mean, I like all the guys on the team, but it's still nice coming away with a win against a big rival like that. So yeah, it was a good day. They're second in the conference, I think, so they have a great team. We've already played them twice this year, and it's always been a battle. So yeah, we're not going to expect an easy match. We know it's going to be really tough, and if we go out with that mindset and just compete really hard, then yeah, hopefully we should be able to come away with a win.
Wow, so motivated. So motivated.
Today was a good day to show that, you know, we have what it takes and we're ready for the Sunday. And yeah, hopefully we can perform the same on the weekend and get the dub. I mean, I think as the semester's gone on, we've improved as a team. We've learned to, you know, be a better team, fight better, compete alongside each other better. Yeah, you know, me, the seniors, kind of leading the team. And yeah, I'm feeling very confident in us. And yeah, we can definitely go win it again in May.
The match honored a good cause as well. Brain injury awareness, supporting kids after brain injury, sharing hope and resources.
Tim Siegel, he's been very supportive of us, and we want to support his program as much as we can. And yeah, he's just been a big supporter, and we're very grateful for him. And it just helps us to be better every day and like fight like Luke, like his son did. And we definitely fought today, and hopefully again on the weekend.
Follow Team Luke Hope for Minds on Instagram for a way to get involved. Baylor is next on Sunday to close the regular season. First serve is at 1 p.m. The Big 12 tournament is in Waco next week, April 17th through April 20th. Our women's golf team climbed into the top 15 last week after a 6th place finish at Colonial at the Charles Schwab Women's Collegiate, which is the top women's college golf event in the country. It was also the final regular season event of the year. This was one of the strongest performances of the season for the ladies this year.
I think they truly do see that they're one of the best teams in the country. And on any given day, they can win any given tournament. Whether the number 1 team in the country's there, the number 5 team, number 10, rankings at this point don't mean anything. We're very, very deep, and on any given day, I mean, yes, okay, we might have somebody who's, say, ranked higher, but really on any given day, I think this team is so comfortable knowing that Gracie McGovern, who's playing in our 5 spot for conference, that the next day she could be playing 1, that she's that good. And so I think it's just a comfort level when you're out there and you're playing and, maybe you're struggling a bit, your teammates have your back. So that actually helps you relax, and then you actually start playing better.
We spent some time out at practice this week with the team as they prepare for Big 12 Championship as the number 2 seed at Houston Oaks Country Club in Hockley, April 15th through April 17th.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. We had a very good regular season. I think the best in TCU women's golf history. At Charles Schwab, playing at home is always very special. And at Colonial, like an amazing golf course with great teams. And obviously, after the first round, we were not on the place that we wanted to be. And then honestly, I'm going to be honest, Coach came to me. I started my second 18 holes in the afternoon, and Coach just said, hey, Sponge, let's fight and let's move some spots. And we ended up finishing 6th, which I think it was pretty good after that rough start.
And you kind of start to blank slate when you get there. So, rankings it's cool to be ranked high, but kind of goes out the window once you get there. You just play for the win. Preparation, it's been kind of the same. Our game plan, really intentional, competitive, and just keep doing what we're doing.
I think I'm really proud of how we grinded it out on our last 2 rounds, especially playing in a field like that. I feel like we weren't really shaken by who we were playing against, which is such a good practice for nationals coming up, and especially conference, being with a lot of good golfers. And I feel like playing in a really prestigious golf tournament too, it's really good prep for conference coming up.
We are not thinking a lot about that, being on 2nd seed. We really just want to win Big 12s, and that's our goal for next week. And all my teammates know it, all the coaches are talking about it, and that's where we're focused on.
But with our ranking being 15, of course, that's our confidence is really high. But it's also we trust each other more and we trust our game. So as conference comes up, we're ready to play.
Everyone is contributing right now for the success of this team, and that's very special. We have freshmen, sophomore, me, junior, and Megan, our senior. She's been a very good captain, and we really appreciate everything she's been telling us, and yeah, it's very special.
Has us working on what we really need to work on, and she also has been telling us to be intentional when we go out and play. We do this drill called the Perfect 10, and she told us even though it's just 10 tees around the hole and short putts, she doesn't want us to just hit the ball, finish it, and then put in our stats. She wants us to do our drills, or not our drills, our warm-ups, and be intentional about it as if we're going to have a 3-footer for the win in conference or in other tournaments later on. So, just being intentional while we practice and working on what we need to get done before the game is really going to help us.
We all live to our core values as a team, which is compassion, dedicated, great, and bold. And I think everyone on this team has those core values, and then we practice a lot, and when we practice, we're focused on what we are doing and what our coaches ask us to do. So I think that makes it easier.
Also, I'm more aware about my course management and prepping with my how to be smart out there, how to use our course maps properly. I didn't even know how to use the slopes, uphill slope, downhill slope, some of that, which was really funny. But now since I know how to use that, and especially playing at Colonial and Pebble Beach and then other pretty hard tournaments, I think now it's we'll go to this golf course and I feel I know what to do to play smarter and play harder.
Yeah, really cool to kind of go out, not on a bang yet, but just with a really good chance to do really well at conference, do really well at regionals and nationals, and best team I've ever been on by far, talent-wise, bond-wise, everything. So it's pretty special.
The ladies have completed one of the best regular seasons in program history so far with 3 wins for the first time in 35 years. 8 top 5 finishes, and individually 17 top 10s and 30 top 20s over 9 tournaments this year. The men round out the regular season at the Mountaineer Invitational early next week before they head to Southern Hills and the Tulsa for their Big 12 tournament. From the fairways to the track, our women's team heads to College Station for the 44 Farms Team Invitational today and tomorrow. And with solid results at the Texas Relays and the Bill Smith Invite, the women are ranked number 10 in the nation. Speaking of the nation, in Austin at the Texas Relays, the 4x1 team, India Mayberry, Iana Gray, London Tucker, and Tiana Harlan ran a school record in second fastest in the world and the top time in the NCAA this year. Mayberry was the indoor national champion and the 200 meter and won gold in the 100 in Austin with a 10.91. The men are ranked in the top 25 at number 24 so far in the outdoor season and has had a solid performance in Denton at the Bill Smith Invite with Muhammad Kawa winning the 1500 and 800 titles. Stoneberg started the event off for the Frogs with a win in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. Good luck to both teams in College Station today. We got equestrian and football when we return.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back to the show. More consistent success across the athletic department, and 40 athletes and 18 horses are heading to the Ocala, Florida, to the World Equestrian Center for the NCEA National Championships. Our team is seeded number 4, taking on number 5 seeded South Carolina on Thursday, April 17th.
The Frogs are 10-5 overall and 5-1 in the Big 12 finishing, runner-up to Oklahoma State in the tournament. Everyone has a clean slate, and seedings, rankings, and standings do not matter at this point. Head coach Haley Schoolfield talks about the team and the process of preparing for the trip to Florida.
We've got some room to grow, and we left the door open at Big 12s, and we know we've got to close that gap, and that's what we feel we've done in the past 2 weeks. So we're excited. We had a very good season, a very successful season, but the good news is we still have room to peak. We have 40 extremely dedicated women on the team and 45 horses that are right there with us. So we're very fortunate, and you're right, everyone does have a role. And with so many moving parts and kind of the crux of our sport being a live animal, it takes everyone giving everything to make anything successful. So we're very fortunate. It's like organizing a platoon and preparing soldiers. So we'll send 13 horses on Sunday morning. It's a 2-day trip for them. They'll arrive Monday afternoon. Half of the team will leave Monday morning and we'll meet the horses there. And then the balance of the team will come on Wednesday afternoon. So Monday we'll travel and set up. Tuesday we'll finish setting up, and a little bit of practice, a little bit of just stretching. Wednesday's a practice day, and then we start at 8:30 Thursday morning with competition against South Carolina. It's going to be a great matchup. We know that South Carolina is coming off of a SEC tournament win, which is a very, very big deal for them. They're a good team. They're a seasoned team. They have some really good leadership, so we expect a very good competition.
Frogs today spent some time out at the home of the TCU Equestrian this week at Bear Creek Farms in Burleson, where they meet up with their other teammates on a daily basis, the horses.
This place is a daydream. It's awesome. The horses are happy, our athletes are happy. We have wonderful places to practice, good weather, bad weather. Our horses are very well cared for, and we're so lucky that the gentlemen that care for them live on site and love them just like we do. So when we're away for a week, we know that the horses at home are still going to be in great hands.
All-Americans Shay Graham, Ashley Scully, Ella Boswick, Laurel Smith, and Lainey Jo Lysak talk to us about their season, the team, and the preparation, and what to look forward to in Florida against South Carolina.
I'm just extremely grateful. I feel like I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude to go in to Nationals. It's one of my favorite venues with the whole team, and to go enjoy Florida and compete with everyone else, not just Big 12s. We get to go with the SEC too. It's just a fun experience all around. I'm excited to go.
It makes me feel really good. Fences has been probably my most consistent event over the last 5 years, so I was really glad that given a difficult schedule for us this year and a very busy fall, that I was able to remain as consistent as I could. You know, I had a great start to the season in fences, and then I didn't end the fall as well as I would have liked, so I really wanted to come back in the spring semester and be strong, and we've done a lot of work in strength training outside of the barn and practice to be able to improve position in our core and our leg work. And so I think given the end of the semester after a Big 12 championship, I think I ended probably the strongest I have over my 5 years here.
There is 30, 40 of us on this team, and we all work so hard. We are out here every single morning, half the day. We all work so hard, and I just think that our work ethic is what gets us to these big things.
Practicing consistency and dialing into working hard every single day and giving everything that we have every single day, and practicing at the highest level. That was something that was huge for us this season, practicing every day at the level that we hope to compete at, so that we hope to be perfect on meet day when the time comes. And I think that really goes to show the level that we've been practicing at is paying off.
Our practice, every time we come out, we're pretending that we're basically showing or competing, so we're putting in our all every single day to make sure that we're also holding each other accountable to make sure that we're doing our best every single day, so we're ready for anything that comes at us during nationals.
This team really loves each other. It really does feel like we're all one big family. And that was last year. It was one family, one mission. And I think we kind of took that and built on it. Leave no doubt in anybody's mind that we're supporting each other. We love each other, and really just leaning into each other. I mean, when it gets hard, my teammates are right there supporting me. They're checking on me. And I try to do the same for them. And that is really, everyone on this team is trying to do their best to make it better for their teammates and to show everyone else what we're made of. Leave no doubt in anyone's mind.
We all know, whether we ride or not, we all have roles on this team, and it's so important that everyone does each of their role, or we would not get as far as we've gotten.
Yeah, it's an important system that we've established here, and everybody has a vital role and place on the team and a job to do, and none of us would be able to find the success that we do without the help of our teammates. And so becoming a part of that family, really learning how meet days work in the morning, getting efficiency, timing, all of that helps run a really smooth day and helps make sure that your teammates are confident to go into the arena, and also supporting each other, communication, all of those really important things that make a strong team. And I've been trying to be a good leader this year and lead by example and provide good communication, lead in the fences ring and also lead in the flat ring. And I think that we've had a lot of people step up this year and really perform their jobs and perform consistently and with confidence and lifting each other up in that way. Especially this semester, we kind of had an awkward little break in February where we didn't have a meet for 3 weeks or so. And so using that time to work on ourselves and move forward and push each other in practice, and everything that we did in that time prepared us for the postseason. And although we didn't get the result that we wanted in the Big 12 championship, I think honestly we came out of it in good spirits, and we're ready for nationals.
Preparation-wise for the horses, we just try to keep them out of their stalls and keep them as fit and happy as possible. And then for us, we kind of the same. We've been trying to get stronger in the weight room, but sometimes that means resting and taking care of our bodies, and then just executing every little detail when it comes to the patterns, and just really focusing on what we can control. And I think that's the biggest thing, is focusing on what we can control and not worrying about what we can't.
To me, it's my favorite part of the sport. I do it because I really do love the horses, and I think it's really cool being able to connect with a 1,500-pound animal. A lot of times on meet day, it's your first time ever meeting that horse, and you have 4 minutes to kind of get on the same page with your horse and figure out what they're good at and what maybe their weaknesses might be, and how you're going to help that horse feel the best that they possibly can on that day. And so I think that, at least for me, it really goes back to, in your 4 minutes, listening to what the horse has to tell you on that given day about how they're feeling and what they can give you.
Because we know these horses pretty well, and we all have really good relationships with them, and we really love and appreciate all the hard work that they do too, because they're also athletes. And just no matter what horse you're getting on, you just know I gotta make sure he feels good and do things some way that he wants to do it. I think a really big thing is riding every horse how he wants to be ridden. I think a lot of it is the hard work we put into of just making sure every horse always feels their best. We have a lot of extra accessories that we can use, like the Beamer blanket and like the TheraPlate, which the horses love. So we're always doing everything we can to help them feel their best. It's like the same as us going in for treatments. It's like the horses getting their own treatments, and I think they really appreciate it. And like we try to make sure they feel their best, so then they can perform the best for us. You have to learn to control your emotions and not suppress them, but adjust them to be able to work with that animal. You know, they're stronger than you every time. You're never going to be stronger than them. You might think it in the moment, but you're never going to be. So you have to be able to be flexible and adjust to whatever kinks or little quirks your horse has. So, we have some flat horses that are stiff on the right side and some that are stiff on the left side. And when I'm preparing to get on for flat practice, I'm thinking that in my mind. I'm like, okay, this horse is stiff on the right side. I got to make sure I work him off the right today. Or the same thing for the left. So I'm adjusting, my strengths and weaknesses to be able to aid whatever the horse needs. Because at the end of the day, it's about going in and doing what's best for your horse. You want to be able to impress the judges, but if you have a horse that does better in one maneuver than the other, you really want to be able to show it off. And that's the difficult part of the sport when you go to away meets or you go to nationals, is you have 4 minutes to figure that out. But because we have so many different types of horses here and we have the opportunity to come and practice, and me competing at both events, I get to ride 2 horses a day. That's really helpful for me. And being able to go in, it kind of keeps you on your feet. And you think, oh, this horse needs this and this horse needs this. How can I get the most out of whatever horse I'm riding today? And that's exactly the mindset that you need going into meets every time.
Making sure I'm there for the horse. I mean, these horses, they work so hard. They have so many different people on them every single day. So just being there for that horse and helping them every step means the world.
So kind of it's been all hands on deck. Everybody's really leaning in. We're giving it all that we have going into this kind of last go that we have this year. So it's been really fun.
It's a bit of every day. We set some different courses out in the fences arena and practice that, 4-minute mentality when we go in to practice in the postseason. So we'll set kind of end jumps at the end of the ring, and at nationals we only get those little 4 jumps in the smaller schooling arena versus in the regular season and in the Big 12 Championship we'll get to actually school some of the jumps in the course. So nationals is a bit more intense in that way, and you don't have as much time or space to get to know your horse a little better. So adjusting that in the fences arena, and then in flat, we have 3 patterns to prepare ourselves for, hoping that we can make it through the first round and then take it one day at a time and see if we'll be able to perform all 3 patterns. So working with that, riding different horses every day, remaining consistent in practice, and taking the things and the mistakes that we made this season and being able to learn from them and move forward with them. And I think that that's the most important mentality you can have going into nationals.
Nationals is cool because every team will compete kind of at the same time. So you're not really, we are competing against South Carolina in the first round, but every team will be showing basically. So it's really just you go out there and try to do your best and stay out of the penalty box and be clean. And that's all you can do. We don't really try to focus on who we're competing against because it's just uncontrollable, really.
WEC is an awesome facility. It's so much fun. We all have dinners after meets. It's fun. We don't get to bring all of our horses, but we get to bring some. So it's fun to hang out with the horses that we do get to bring, spend some quality time with them and the girls.
The energy at nationals is always crazy. Having the stands filled, and there's huge stands at nationals at the World Equestrian Center, and so that's really fun, having the space for all of those exhibitors all those fans to come watch. And so that's always a lot of fun, and it's fun getting to travel with some of our horses this year. And so I think that really just the energy at nationals, the big crowd cheering, it's a lot of fun, and we're ready for it. We're pumped. So
we're really thinking we just want to dominate, right off the bat. We want to go in, walk into the ring, show that we're here to win it, and just show our confidence overall and prove ourselves.
I think we are more prepared than ever, especially after Big 12s. We've been fighting. We've been out here every morning. We've been working harder than we ever have. So I think we are so ready for Big 12s. I think we're all physically and mentally ready.
I never really think about who we're competing against as far as the individual draws or the teams or anything like that. I think it's just about learning from past mistakes that we've made or things that we want to improve on in our regular season, and making sure that we're going into the meet as our best selves and that we're prepared. You know, there's this saying that I love, luck always favors the prepared. And, you know, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And we have the opportunity to come here and compete. And if we're prepared, then, you know, you have to be good, but you also have to be a little lucky. And that's an important mindset to take in because so much is out of your control in the sport. And being able to have strong mentals going in, I think, is more important than anything. And to me, at least, it doesn't matter who my opponent is. I just want to be able to go in there and be clean and strong to impress the judges.
I'm just going to enjoy the moment. I don't feel any pressure competing. I haven't in a while. I think just to go out there and it really is coming to an end for me after next weekend. So to just enjoy the time with my team and my coaches and yeah, just be in the moment and enjoy being out in the arena because it's over next weekend.
Competition gets underway next Thursday and goes through the 20th.
So it's go time, and where we think we are is rested and prepared. Yeah, we're ready.
Frogs, Gamecocks in the quarterfinals take on the winner of SMU and UT Martin. Before we move on from equestrian, graduate student and team captain Ashley Scully has another passion, which is photography, and that in the horse industry has pretty much been separate, but her love for both very much relates. Since she was 8 years old, she had a passion for conservation and storytelling.
So photography has been a big part of my life. It's kind of been very separate from everything that I've done in the riding world. I started photography when I was 8 and I started riding when I was 4, so I got into riding first, but I've always had a really strong love for the natural world and wildlife and animals, and I just feel this connection to that. And I think that's why, you know, I've found success in the horse industry and also, you know, out in nature. I feel this connection, this sense of peace out there, and this kind of sense of advocacy to speak up for the voiceless. And that's my job here a little bit too, you know, bringing out the best in the horses. I want to be able to bring out the best in the animals in their environment in order to portray important conservation messages to people. And so that's a big part and importance of me traveling and doing my photography. And it's funny because before college, you know, it wasn't something I talked about very much. My riding and photography are very separate lives. And the community that I found here have really given me the opportunity to merge those worlds together and find those important connections. And I've really been able to become my best self because of it.
Good luck to our equestrian team in Florida next week. We move to football. With just 5 days remaining in our spring practices, we are 10 days in, and head coach Sonny Dykes is pleased and mentioned that our team is the deepest team he has had since he has been here.
Well, you know, it's been competitive. It's what you want to see. You know, I think it's the deepest team we've had. We got more guys competing every day that have to compete at a high level. Somebody's going to take their job if they don't, and so I'm encouraged by that. You know, I think that we're starting to do little things correctly more consistently, which is a good thing. You know, and I think we've done a pretty good job trading days. It seems like one day the offense will have a good day, defense will come back and have a good day. Really, it happens from period to period, which you want to see again. Just a good competitive spring so far. You know, we've got a lot of new players here, and it's good to see those guys getting reps and competing, and I've been really pleased with the new group overall. So, you know, so far so good. Got a lot of work to do, man. Got tons of work, got to be more consistent. Got to get some of these young guys to mature a little bit. You know, we're going to have to you know, count on them in today's football, man. Everybody's got to be able to contribute something to the team, and so we got to get some of these guys to come along and continue to grow up. And I'm excited about the start. I think that's the goal every year. I mean, look, we're here. It's, you know, year 4 for us, and so if we're doing what we're supposed to do, if we're recruiting the right players and developing the right players, then we ought to continue to get better. And that's the way this thing works. And if we're not, then we're not doing our job. And so, you know, we ought to have more players. We do. You know, we only took 8 players in the transfer portal. I think, again, that shows that I think we feel comfortable about our roster, where it's at. We feel like that we have, again, recruited the right guys. We feel like that they're on track to develop, you know, and to guys that can compete for a conference championship. Because, I mean, that's the standard here is, you know, compete for a conference championship and college football playoff. And so we're kind of at that point as a program where we don't do that. You know, we don't see it as a successful year. And, you know, you look at last year and you go, hey, you won 9 games or whatever. But, you know, the last week of the season, we weren't playing the Big 12 Championships. So it's not what we want, not what we expect, and not what we think we should have.
Where would you think what position groups would you say the competition is most intense in right now?
You know, really across the board. I mean, I think that there's some young offensive linemen that are pushing some of the guys, which is encouraging. You know, I think the same thing at receiver. I think there's a good group of wide receiver, you know, guys that are competing for spots. You know, there's a couple of new additions that some guys are trying to hold off right now. So I'm encouraged by that. You know, on the back end, the secondary is kind of the same thing. I think, you know, when we have the group together and we're healthy, then I think it's the deepest group and most athletic group that we've had. So I like what I'm seeing there. And then up front defensively, you know, a lot of new bodies, a lot of guys competing, a lot of guys that show promise. You know, we need some guys to come on and give us, again, that consistent performance. But we think there's some guys that can grow into that role.
Our offensive and defensive coordinators, Coach Briles and Coach Avalos, had a chance to get in the team room and talk to the media yesterday. Here's what they had to say.
We're really excited about spring ball and where we're at. We're nearing the last week here, and we've made a lot of progress. It's needless to say that we have a lot of new faces. It is what college football is now in spring. You know, being that a lot of guys enroll early and guys that come as transfers, you know, it's good to get them here and have them go through spring ball because you're able to make a lot of progress with them, getting the experience of playing the game, playing the pre-snap, understanding situations, field positions, clock situations, and all those things. You're able to make such a big jump that then you can be at a certain place in the summertime to make another jump. But thank you guys for coming here and being a part of this, you know, every day when we're out on the practice field.
Feel good. Obviously, returning a quarterback is a huge deal. So having Josh and Ken, you know, both those guys with a lot of experience in the offense, it makes things from ground zero really good. And then obviously with the way things are nowadays, you really don't stop with football. Our guys have been going through OTAs and winter conditioning. So coming out and getting into spring ball, it's a lot of recall. So been very pleased with it. You know, just like everything else, there's good and bad. There's give and take with offense and defense, and that's what you want, seeing the defense make plays, and our guys have made plays, but it's been very competitive at all positions. And I like our physicality up front and being able to feel good in the run game. Our running backs have done a good job there, so very pleased where we're at right now.
Yeah, and even before spring ball started, you know, with football school, as we come off the road in recruiting and there through February when it goes dead in recruiting, we're able to spend some time with our players. And instantly you can see the difference in year number 2, which is what you would hope for. And just in terms of the guys understanding the process, what it looks like in terms of preparation, the detail, the dedication, the sacrifice, the grow, to develop. Where we are with the guys that were on this defense last year is night and day. It's fun now to not only have coaches teaching, but to have players, experienced players that did this last year, now helping lead, helping us coach as well. You know, some of the new guys that are into the program. And to me, that's when it becomes fun. When a guy can start to coach a guy like, you know, Bud Clark and some of our linebackers, Caleb, Nam, the guys that played last year, they got experience. That's really where we can start to make a jump with the guys that came in and bringing them, closing that gap up closer to the guys that played last year.
Yeah, Jack Savion and John Paul, you know, those guys were elite, and not just on game day, but just every single day on and off the field. So we had some holes to fill, needed some young guys to step up. A couple of the transfer receivers, Joseph Manjack and Jordan Dwyer, those guys have done a really good job. They understood the position that we were in with a great need to replace a lot of production, and they've come in and taken the job very seriously. I've seen a lot of production. They've been on the field. They've been available. And they've started to get in sync with our quarterback. So that's been really good to see. And both those guys have studied and haven't had any MAs. You know, they've been really sharp on the field. And then some of the young guys that needed to step up have stepped up. You know, Dozie would be one that kind of stands out. He's been solid. All these guys are obviously, you know, practice 10, battling a little bit of injuries, but Braylon James has been very steady. And then Major and Jordan Baylor, those guys have been a little bit limited. But when they've gone, they've looked explosive and looked right. And Ed Small has been a great addition as an early guy in as well. So future's bright with some young guys. Terry Shelton's been one that, stands out at times. And we knew he was a raw player, but he's got a lot of talent.
Their decision to come back and be a part of this program, not only to better themselves and grow, but to better this program, to set ourselves out to accomplish something that, our team goal this year. I mean, shoot, the growth that they've made, our commitment back to them on the things that we talked about. If you come back, we're going to get better at this. We're going to do this. It's going to look different. This time next year, you're going to do this better. And we're well on our way of doing that with them, with Bud's eye progression, how he communicates, how he knows the game, how he plays the game, how he plays his techniques. Coach Trey Watson's been a great help to Bud, continuing to develop some of the things that he's teaching them and within his development. I mean, shoot, you can ask Bud. I think Bud would tell you that he's pretty excited about his growth, and the same with, Namdi and even Caleb. There's two experienced linebackers that they've played a lot of football, but we can make a huge jump with them too in their eye progressions and how they see and fit certain run plays and how they fit in the pass game. And then, we're always trying to bring those guys along as blitzers, and they love to do it. So it's all those things. There's always area to grow, regardless if you're a new guy into the program or you're a veteran.
I feel really good about where we're at. I like what we're doing schematically. We've scaled down as far as the amount of different runs that we're trying to get accomplished and trying to get a lot better at fewer runs. So I think that's helped us. Overall, I think our physicality up front, our tight ends included, DJ Rogers has done a great job, and a couple other guys have been banged up, but he's stood out as being a really physical blocker. He's done a great job at that. We all know he can run and catch, but he's done a great job in the run game. And then I think our backs and their paths, and Coach Smith has done a good job at them. We're more downhill, and I feel like we're denting the front and pushing our run game forward, which I like.
Defense starts up front and inside. You got to be able to handle yourself on the outside. There's a lot of one-on-one situations outside, but defense starts inside and up front. And so for us, it's been a big to-do all the way from the wintertime and getting some of these new guys in here and continuing to develop them. We feel like, really good with the addition of, we got Marcus. Marcus was a very productive player that come back for us and doing a really good job as we go through this spring here. Had a great offseason in the weight room. And to be able to get a guy like Ansel and get him involved in not just the type of player and the experience he has playing, a high-level college football, but his leadership and who he is has helped build and grow that room as a new guy. And so it is going to be a process. We are at a solid spot right now with that D tackle position as we are about 3/4 of the way through spring ball, but we're excited about the growth there, and we got to keep it moving.
Protecting the football is number one, and he's done a great job of that. He's had maybe a tip ball pick, but that's about it. I mean, he's been really clean. We all know that he can chunk the ball down the field, and he's got a little bit of a gunslinger mentality, and just don't want to harness that, but just want to be smart with it. And, when we got throws that we can rip and pick up big plays and do it. And then being able to be smart with the football and work through your progressions. So I've seen that. He's y'all know him. He's a tremendous person, an individual. Blessed to be able to work with him and coach him.
Come on out tomorrow and check out our team at 11 a.m. in the Carter. It's the first of the frog crawl. Get some football in, some lunch, some team apparel, as the team stores will be open in the stadium, and then get out to the baseball. But before we go, soccer and volleyball spring seasons continue, with soccer wrapping up their season with a 1-1 draw over Texas A&M last week, and volleyball has 2 weekends left on April 26th and May 3rd.
That will do it for us today, and we thank you for joining us, the only media outlet that covers all of TCU athletics. Stay connected for dynamic, original content right here at Frogs Today. For Roxo Media House and TCU Football, I'm Keegan Cunningham.
And I'm Eric McAllister. For everyone here at Roxo Media House, this has been Frogs Today. For Friday, April 11th, thanks for watching.
Go Frogs!